What up, YouTube? Timu is here. Since today is her birthday, and since she won an Oscar last night for Marriage Story, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite Laura Dern movies. Because I'm happy that she won her Oscar for Marriage Story. You know, she's been acting for decades. I mean, she is the daughter of Hollywood royalty. She's the daughter of Hollywood legends like Bruce Dern and Diane Ladd. And that woman could do no wrong. I really adore Laura Dern. So with that being said, here's my 10 favorite Laura Dern movies. Alright, coming in at number 10, I'm going to go with Smooth Talk. Now, Dern actually ended up earning her first ever Independent Spirit Award nomination for this performance. And in it, she portrays this teenager named Connie who spends the summer before her sophomore year fixating on getting male attention and on. But her mother, Catherine, played by Mary Kay Place, ends up nagging her about paying the house and favors her older sister. And Connie also ends up having a relationship with this dangerous stranger named Arnold Friend, played by Treat Williams, who is a really creepazoid. Smooth Talk, Treat Williams, he's been acting for decades, and I really love Treat Williams in this movie. He is a bit of a creep show, but he plays that role perfectly. Laura Dern was amazing in Smooth Talk. She was pretty young for a role, but I really thought Laura Dern was still pretty great. Mary Kay Place was terrific. This is one crazy intense film. If you guys never really seen Smooth Talk, definitely go check that one out. Number 9, I'm gonna go with 99 Homes. Now, in it, it's really about the film about the mortgage crisis that affected the U.S. and particularly the state of Florida after the economic downturn of about 10 years ago. Ended up winning a lot of the the downturn of about 10 years ago won a lot of the Critics Award for Michael Shannon on. But he plays like the sleazy real mortgage realtor, and he is such a I really do not like the Michael Shannon role. And you got Andrew Garfield who's in this. You got Laura Dern who portrays Andrew Garfield's mother, who ends up getting caught up with the shady real estate agent, who's like convicting homeowners for the profit. Laura Dern, the scenes between her and Andrew Garfield are terrific. I really adore those two together. Michael Shannon was great. This was a really nice. This was a nice thriller-based film. If you guys never seen 99 Homes, it's a really good one. Really underrated too. Number 8, it is an HBO film, and that is The Tale. Now, it's actually based on the directors of real life, and Laura Dern actually portrays Jennifer Fox, who's actually the film's director. And here you got Jennifer Fox, who has a boyfriend played by Common, and she also has a great career as a journalist and a professor. But when her mother ends up discovering a story titled The Tale that Jennifer ends up growing when she was and this takes back to where Jennifer was like 13 and she ended up having a relationship with 2 adult coaches who ended up sexually assaulting her and all. This movie is really insane. Like, you got Jason Ritter who plays the younger version, while the late great John Hurd played the older version, who ended up having a relationship with her when she was like only 13 and all. This is a really messed up movie, but it's terrific. I'm still surprised that Laura Dern did not really get more award love for this, because she was terrific in this movie. You also had the likes of Alan Burstyn. Common was great. Definitely go check out The Tale if you guys never seen it. It's a really intense film. I mean, there are stuff in this movie that's... I probably won't watch this movie just once, and that was really it. It was a really hard watch for me, but that doesn't take away from how good it was. Alright, coming in at number 7, I'm going to go with the movie Mask. Now, not to be confused with the Jim Carrey version, Mask, is about Rocky Dennis, who was this who is this boy who was this who ended up having this disorder called I can never really pronounce the disorder's name that well, but it's called difficile, where which causes his face to be disfigured, and it's really. I mean, it's a really heartbreaking story. Like, you got Laura Dern, who portrays Rocky Dennis's first love, who's this young blind girl who is able to get to know the real boy since she can't really see his face. And Laura Dern, she plays this role just perfectly. You've got, not to mention, you got Cher, who portrays Rocky's mother, and Cher, probably one of her best performers. You've got Sam Elliott was in this. Eric Stoltz as Rocky Dennis was terrific. I love this movie. It's a really tragic tale because tragically Rocky Dennis's life, his life ended really tragically. But man, this movie, you're gonna need some tissues while you're watching this. Laura Dern's scenes with Rocky, it was pretty heartbreaking to watch. Definitely go check out Mask if you guys never seen that. Alright. Coming in at number 6, I'm going to go with the David Lynch film, Wild at Heart. Now, it's where this sailor named Ripley, played by Nicolas Cage, who is serving a prison time for self-defense killing, and he ends up reuniting with his girlfriend, Lula Fortune, played by Laura Dern, and Laura's mother, Marita, played by Laura's real-life mother, Diane Ladd, tries to desperately keep them apart and even hires a hitman to kill Sailor. But he ends up finding a whole new set of trouble when he and Bobby Peru, played by William Dafoe, and old buddy who's also out to get Sailor, tries to rob a store on her. And so Sailor ends up laying in jail yet again. And it has some really cool music in it. It is directed by another crazy movie directed by David Lynch. David Lynch is one of the weirdest directors there is. But he directed Nick Cage perfectly here. Nick Cage and Laura Dern were both great in this movie. And speaking of, it was pretty cool seeing a Wild at Heart reunion at the end of Penn Spirit was this week, when Nick Cage honored Marriage Story, and obviously Laura Dern's a Marriage Story. So that's pretty cool seeing Nick Cage and Laura Dern back on stage together. Like, interesting Wild at Heart reunion. But yeah, if you guys haven't really seen Wild at Heart, it's a really terrific film. Alright, coming in at number 5, I'm going to go with Alexander Payne's film, Citizen Ruth. Now, here, this is actually Alexander Payne's first feature film, and it is a story that is a satire of a abortion controversy, with Dern cast as a young woman who ends up coming out to national attention due to her inability to stop getting pregnant and take care of those kids, once she gives birth and all. And so Dern is very she's really incredible in her scenes. And this also has some other pretty cool cast members. I'm a big Alexander Payne fan. Nebraska, Sideways, Election. He also did Downsizing, which that's his bad in The Office. But Citizen Ruth. If you guys haven't really seen that movie, it's pretty decent. I mean, it's pretty funny. It has lots of hot, serious moments. Really good flick. Alright. Coming in at number 4, I'm going to go with Ramblin Rose. Now, here you got Dern, who portrays a troubled woman who is taken in as a subvert by a wealthy family so she can escape her desperate life, where she ends up being forced into prostitution and all. And she ended up receiving a Best Actress nomination at the Oscars, while her mother, Diane Ladd, also received Best Supporting Actress. And this was actually also the first time and the only time that a mother and daughter were nominated at the Oscars for the same year, which I thought that was pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool right there. I just never really thought of that before. But anyway, You also got Robert Duvall was also in this. You've got Lucas Haas. Some really great cast members. Great performances by Duvall, who plays the father in this. Diane Ladd, probably one of her best performances. If you guys haven't really seen Ramblin Rose yet, really decent flick. All right, coming in at number 3, I'm gonna go with Wild. Now, this film was another film that was where Laura Dern ended up scoring a Oscar nomination for, and it was directed by John Mark Valley and Reese Witherspoon, and later on those two ended up working together on Big Little Lies. And here you've got Laura Dern, who portrays the mother of Reese Witherspoon's character, and it depicts the complicated relationship between the mother and daughter, and how the daughter only comes to understand her mother after the mother's death and all. And Laura Dern she played the drunken mother, really well here. Laura Dern was I think there could be an argument made that this could have easily been her first Oscar win, because this was probably one of her best performances she's given. Reese Witherspoon scored an Oscar nomination, a well-deserved nomination there. Wild is really terrific. It's nice. It's like a female version of Into the Wild in a way. That's what I kind of got from this. But if you guys haven't really seen Wild, it is also based on a book by Nick Hornsby. Really, it is based on a true story. Really good flick. Number 2, I'm going to go with Blue Velvet. Now, this is another David Lynch directed film, and it stars Kyle MacLachlan, who portrays his college student named Jeffrey Beaumont, who ends up returning home after his father has a stroke. But he ends up discovering a severe ear in a abandoned field. But Beaumont ends up teaming with this detective's daughter, Sandy Williams, played by Laura Dern. She solved the mystery, and they end up believing that the singer Dorothy Valance may be connected with the case. Then you also got Dennis Hopper as this sexually depraved psychopath Frank Booth, and I guess you could say this was actually the movie that really put Laura Dern on the map for most people. You also got Isabella Rossellini was great in this. This was a nice psychological thriller. To me, it's probably one of David Lynch's best work. I'm sorry, Dune. I'm sorry, Twin Peaks, but I think his best work is Blue Velvet. This is such a terrific film. Dennis Hopper was great. Laura Dern was magnificent. Great performances by the cast. If you guys haven't really seen Blue Velvet yet, go check it out. It's a really intense one. And really good. Alright, my favorite Laura Dern movie of all time, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is Jurassic Park. I know most people probably say Blue Velvet will be their favorite, or even Smooth Talk, but to me, her best work is and will always be Jurassic Park. I mean, her portraying this pale monotonous, studying the creatures and I just always quite loved Laura Dern as this role. She really played she's not really she plays a woman who's not really a damsel in distress, which I don't you always have so many female characters being damsels in distress. I'm glad they never went there with Laura Dern's character. Her chemistry with Sam Neill, Alan Grant was pretty great. Jeff Goldblum. Her interactions with the Triceratops, that scene was actually pretty decent to watch. I just really love Jurassic Park. And, she ended up reprising her role for Jurassic Park 3. And coming next year, she is reprising her role once again for the next Jurassic Park movie, where she's reuniting with Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum. So yeah, that should definitely be interesting. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let's do the quick rundown. 10, Smooth Talk. 9, 99 Homes. 8, The Tale. 7, Mask. 6, Wild at Heart. 5, Citizen Ruth. 4, Ramblin Rose. 3 Wild, 2 Blue Velvet, and number 1 Jurassic Park. Now there's loads of other ones I probably could have added. Oh, let's see. Star Wars Last Jedi she was in. I was going to add Marriage Story and Little Women, but to be honest, I quite like these movies. Like, maybe down the line I'll probably redo it and maybe I'll add Marriage Story, but anyway, Co-Pursuit with Liam Neeson she was in, The Fault in Our Stars, October Sky, The Founder, Inland Empire, Little Fockers, she was in the movie Down Sergeant, yeah. Trial by Fire, I Am Sam, The Master, Happy Endings, JT Leroy with Kristen Stewart, Foxes, Certain Women, Wilson, When the Game Stands Tall, Recount, We Don't Live Here Anymore. Yeah, she's been Dr. T and the Woman. Yeah, Laura Dern has been some really high-profile stuff. She's been in some not-so-good stuff too, but she's been in more good than bad. Anyway, let me leave you guys. What are some of your favorite Laura Dern movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Timu signing off.